We are in Canmore, just outside the Banff National Park. It is 7:57 in the morning, and I'm just going down to the Supercharger here. Actually, Canmore has two Superchargers. That's freaking amazing. There's also an Electrify, not America. No, we're in Canada. It's Electrify Canada down here in town. And there are a whole bunch of level 2 chargers around town, actually in the entire park area. Well, for all the people like me that come here to visit, many hotels and resorts have Tesla destination chargers and J1772s for their guests. So also some of the shopping centers offer J1772s and stuff. So pretty cool. Today we got a little trip planned. It's about 100 miles, 170 kilometers, so just over 100 miles. And well, we will get there with 13%. We want to go to the Golden Sky Bridge. Well, the Golden Sky Bridge, Golden, has, I think, 2 superchargers plus a CCS and Chidemo right there. So not really a problem, we could just get there. But 13%, well, I don't know the route, I don't know how it's gonna look like, I don't know how we're gonna drive, where we're gonna stop, what else comes up, right? So I decided to just come down here to town real quick. It's only a few minutes from our resort to the Supercharger. And today actually I'm gonna check out the second Supercharger here in town. I was at the first one the second day we were here. Or actually the first day we were here in the evening. When we got here, we went to the grocery store, and after that we wanted to get some dinner, and right next to the Supercharger was a place that had pizza and pasta, and my daughter loves pasta, so we went there for dinner while the truck was charging outside, and we were relatively low, so we could easily eat the dinner while it was charging. And when we came back out, it was like at 96%. And then since we haven't charged, there was just a couple trips to Banff and back, which is about a 25-minute drive one way, no big deal. Similar to the trip we had in Yellowstone, we have some videos here from the last couple weeks where we drove the Rivian to Yellowstone and in Yellowstone. And same there was really not much exciting because there are chargers around everywhere. Distances are maybe a little longer here, but not a big deal. There's so many chargers around here. Also, yeah, around the park, chargers everywhere. In the park, in Banff, there are charging options. There are charging options at actually many of the destinations in the park. There are Tesla destination chargers available. Some also have J1772s available. So it's really not that hard to travel around here in the park. The only thing is speed limits are relatively low, and the distances here in Banff National Park are a bit bigger probably than some of the distances in Yellowstone, so it's a longer drive. So we're basically exploring more the southern end of Banff National Park. I don't think we're going all the way up to the ice fields because it's like a 3-hour drive to get there. It's not that many miles, I don't remember what it is, but it's like a 3-hour drive, and that is a long time. That makes a 6-hour drive in a day. So it's like you would have to have another location to stay, maybe up north. That would be better, but we're staying down here. There's plenty to explore here. And yeah, so right now I'm going to the Supercharger in Canmore, and we're just getting a few percent here. We don't need much. So, yep. Oh, there's the train. Do we have to cross the train track? Ah, I think I do. Man, that kind of sucks. These trains are long here. We got stuck there. at one of the train crossings here the other night, and it was like a 10-minute wait or so, and then the gates didn't open right, and the lights stayed red. It was kind of weird. So hopefully this time it works fine here. I see the train just went through, and okay, the gates are up, but oh, that's the same crossing, I guess. I just come from a different direction. So yeah, I don't really know my way around Canmore yet, because basically we just get onto the highway, drove to Banff so far, and we explored Banff. And you can find free parking in these areas if you look out, pay attention a little bit. Otherwise you're gonna pay. Also, if you go to the stores, everything here seems to be paid parking, but you can get like 90 minutes free if you go to a store and you either ask for it, or sometimes they have a QR code that you can scan, and then you just put your license plate in. But yeah, pretty much everything's paid parking, so unless you're willing to walk a little bit or use public transport. And public transport's pretty great here in Canada. Throughout the park, it's amazing actually. So yesterday we went to Lake Louise. Lake Louise is one of the most sought after destinations, I guess. The Lake Louise parking lot fills up by like 5 in the morning. People get there in the pitch dark to get a parking spot. There's a lot of hiking from Lake Louise, and so a lot of people want to go there. We chose to take the bus, and we didn't have reservations. We just purchased tickets, and then you get in an additional line. So they use about 60% of the bus for reservations, and then 40% of the seats are left for walk-ons that have a ticket like us. And we got really lucky. We got there plenty early, like 45 minutes early or something, and we were able to catch the bus. But we heard people sometimes have to wait like 2 or 3 turns before they can catch a bus. So you might be in line 2 or 3 hours, something like that, crazy. But we got really lucky. We were able to walk on. We took the bus up there. That's not bad. It's actually not that expensive. Parking is expensive at Lake Louise. I think it's like 36 Canadian dollars, so not cheap at all. And so the bus for 3 people obviously becomes a little bit expensive. I think we were more than the parking up there, so we were like $50 or so for the 3 of us on the bus. But it was easy to get on the bus, and then the return bus was easy, same way. Return bus is included. We didn't have to worry about anything, and the bus stops really close to the lake, so that was pretty cool. We went on a hike. That was wonderful there. Went up to the, I think it's called the Tea House. There's a couple lakes, Mirror Lake and Lake Agnes up above, so we got to see Lake Louise, Mirror Lake, and Lake Agnes on that little hike. It's about 3.5 miles or so, or no, actually 3.5 kilometers. So that's what, about 2.2 miles or so up to the lake, and obviously back the same way. Yeah, that was pretty neat. So, but today, Golden Sky Bridge in Golden. That is one of the attractions that is also something that you might want to reserve, and I believe it's even a little bit cheaper if you reserve that. And they have zip lines there as well, and these huge sky bridges. Oh, all right, here is the charger. Oh, that's a small one. It's behind the hotel. I believe it's only a 150. And what? FSD stops. It doesn't park me. All right, I'll take over then. It's funny. All right, yep, that looks like a 150. We'll go in here and get some of this juice here. This one here is actually 2 cents more expensive than the one that we were at the other night. This one is 60 Canadian cents. The other one was 58. All right, almost there. There we go. All right, we're here. I better plug in and we look at some stats at that point. So I just got plugged in. Interesting fact here is that this smaller, older charger, this is only version 2, is actually more money than the version 3 that's not far from here, actually maybe a quarter mile on the same road on the other side. But I wanted to go check out this one here. I don't think that we even maxed this out here. Let's look real quick. As we can see here, 89 kilowatts, that's about it. We're going relatively slow. Even though the truck can charge at what they say 325, or actually should be able to charge at, I believe, 500 when it's all done, said and done. I don't remember, but it should be able currently to charge at 325. We're only going at 89. Why? Because it's in the morning. It is 47 degrees out, it shows right now. It's a beautiful day though. It's look at that. It's a little bit cloudy, a little bit rainy yesterday, so there may be some rain later today, but it is beautiful. So anyway, yeah, because it's so cold, the battery is cold, it will go slow. Now we came up to 90. We're also at 50%, so another factor that it's going slow. And we don't need much. We were at about 50% when we got here, and like I said, we could get there with 13% according to the navigation. So maybe we put 10-15% in, so we're safe, so we have a little extra if you want to do some detour on the way there. And then there we got a couple superchargers available again to us, so not bad at all. Now let's see here. Well, let's look here a little bit. It just doesn't get it nicely here. We got 636 watt-hours per kilometer. That is huge. And well, kilometers, obviously, everything here in Canada is kilometers. So, but that's the nice thing with Tesla. We can easily switch that over to miles again, so that it works much better for probably most of the viewers here. So let's switch that real quick. So we just go down here, up there, bring up the display, scroll down to here, distance, and let's put that in miles, and voila. 1023 watt-hours per mile. So this is huge, 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 huge. This is the morning drive. It's huge. I didn't precondition or anything, right? So while driving, the truck had to start heating up the cabin and everything. So obviously we use huge amounts for heat just to drive here. Even though we didn't go fast, we hardly used anything for really driving. It's just heat, heat, heat. So still, since charge, that's been a couple days ago, I think. We didn't drive very far, 86.8 miles at 423.8 watt-hours per mile. So we stayed pretty much about the same at around 420 watt-hours per mile on this entire trip, it seems like. So not bad at all. So we can go get a little bit more info here. Where is the trips? Right there. So trip A, this is the total distance we have been driving so far, 537.8 miles. We used 228.9 kilowatt hours. So almost 2 times the battery, not quite yet. And we averaged 425.6 for the total trip. Which is not bad for us, because our lifetime, since we got it here 18,500 miles ago, our lifetime is 535.1. Why is that lifetime so much higher? That is because we tow a lot of trailers. This is a work truck usually. We took it up here because you can get a lot of stuff in the bed there, put a ton of cover down. I mean, it's so convenient. There's a lot of room back here for our daughter to sit, so yeah. But we usually tow trailers, and that brings that up quite a bit. But you can see on this trip we're about 420-ish, 425-ish on average, which is not too bad at all. So charging speed came up here a little bit. We are now at 97 kilowatt there. It says 1 hour remaining. That would be to 100%. But that's not what we're doing here. We're just going to 60-ish, 65-ish or so maybe. Just to have a little extra on this trip. But again, just like in Yellowstone with the Rivian, where it was so easy to travel around, it's super easy to travel around here with the Cybertruck in regards to range, tons of range, lots of chargers everywhere. Use PlugShare. I'm not familiar with this area. If you have a Tesla, it's super easy. It's all on the screen here. You just put, even on the, this morning I just put our destination in on the app while I was in the room. It told me everything. I can also, in the app, you can set what your starting range is or your percentage is. So I could change that. It took whatever the truck was at, like 50%. But I could increase that, say, oh, I'll be leaving with 70% or whatever. You can change that, and then you can send it to the truck. And so once you get in the truck, it's all there and ready to go. Super easy. You can see all the chargers, the Tesla Superchargers on here. Yeah. And if you need more than the Tesla Superchargers, if you want to really see all your charging options, use PlugShare. I use PlugShare quite frequently. I also check in on PlugShare when I'm charging somewhere, even at the Tesla Superchargers. While traveling, I usually have this set to 100% here. This way we can just be plugged in at a supercharger, and even if we come up to like the range that we need to continue the trip, it will just continue to charge, because usually the vehicle is faster than we are, and I don't want it to stop and then I have to pay idle fees or anything. I just want to go all the way, and we can always use more. So no big deal. So I always have it set to that, but you need to pay attention. Like if you're using a level 2 overnight, obviously then you don't necessarily want to charge to 100%, so you set it down lower again. But yeah, we're already up to 64%. We came up to 102 kilowatts, I think was the fastest I've seen. And so this charge here is $13.55 Canadian at this point. And the interesting thing here is congestion fees is 50 cents per minute starting at 80% charge level, or once charging is complete. So it's, well, or once charging is complete. So if I'm set to 100%, that should not really be an issue, because charging is not complete at 80%. Also, there's definitely no congestion here. We're at this one. Oh, where are we? Over here. There is 3 more here. 3 more chargers. I'm the only one here, so no congestion whatsoever. So I'm not too worried about that at all. But it's kind of an interesting thing, the congestion fees that Tesla added. I don't know that it's really a big deal. Most of the time you don't need more than 80% anyway. We could have left with the 50% we had. So, but yeah, so we're at 65. I think it's time to unplug, go back to the resort, and then we'll look at the trip real quick for today and see what it says with how much we will get to Golden, or the Golden Sky Bridge. Back at the resort here. Beautiful views everywhere you look. And well, let's look at navigation real quick for today's trip. It's nothing exciting really. So we're going to Golden, and that is where the Golden Sky Bridge is, zipline park and some other cool stuff. So we're gonna do a few things there. And it is 168 kilometers, so just over 100 miles. Takes almost 2 hours to get there, 1 hour 48 minutes. So it's a slow go, and now that we charged up a little bit, we should get there with 29% instead of with the 13. So we got a little bit to spare in case we do a little side tour or something on the way. I don't expect really to do any side tours on the way, because we gotta be there by like 10:45. There's a time scheduled for us to get in and then do those rides, because there's a lot of people there. But yeah, so let's bring this down here real quick. So it is, you can see a little curvy, going a lot of turns over and through the mountains here. So we gotta cross basically the mountains and come over here to Golden. And then in Golden, you can see it's actually no big deal. There's 3 superchargers there, so we can charge up there before we go back home no big deal whatsoever. So, well, I gotta go get wife and kid, and then off we go. And I might do a little check-in here once we get to Golden at the Supercharger. We are in Golden, and this place is super busy here. This is basically like a truck stop area, lots of restaurants and 3 superchargers. And I'm not talking about individual stalls, I'm talking about actual 3 locations of superchargers here in Golden. Super busy here. So we made it to the Sky Bridge earlier. We were right on time to get in, so I didn't record anything. We made it at the estimated, I think it was like 29%, so no problem. And we spent a few hours there, went over the Sky Bridge, did some zip lining, did the mountain coaster ride there, so and did some that zip lining and climbing course thing. So that was a lot of fun. So that's pretty cool. And then we came over here, starving. Hours later, we came over here to town, basically, or the town actually, I believe, is over that way, out this way, where it's at downtown. But we're here at the Supercharger, and as I pointed out earlier at some point, it's set to 100%, so it can definitely go long enough for us to eat, because from 80 to 100% it takes quite some time. The fans are going hard here. My wife and daughter are in the truck, and the climate control's going, and I'm sure it's cooling the battery too at this time. So but yeah, we don't really need much. We needed what, 30% to get here or something, 30 or 40, let's see, 50, 29, 30, yeah, about 35% or so to get here, so that would get us back. But since we wanted to eat, we just charge higher anyway. Well, let's go look at the stats real quick in the truck. So we got 25 minutes to go to 100%, but we don't really want to get to 100%. We're at 89. We're basically ready to go. We don't need more than about 35%, so we're just fine. It's only going at 68 kilowatts now, and that is okay. So since charge this morning, we drove a 176.3 kilometers at 231.4 watt hours per kilometer, and that just sounds great until we do this here and switch that over to miles, and now it's a little different. Now it's not as much of a distance. It's only 109.5 miles at 372.4 watt hours per mile, which is pretty good considering we drove over a pass. Overall, we were very efficient, and that is mostly due to the speed limit. Many times it's only 90 kilometers while we're used to 80 miles. So 90 kilometers are just what is that, 55, 57 miles per hour, so pretty slow for us. And an electric car is extremely efficient at those speeds. And then if it's not 90, then it's 100 usually. In very few places I think I've seen 110, but hardly ever. Mostly 90 is the speed, and so not very fast overall. Pretty good basically for electric vehicles, because yeah, we're very efficient, as you can see. So now for us, we need to get back home. Let's see here. We'll navigate back to there. Let's see what it says here. All right, we will get back with 51%, 105 miles, and 1 hour 46 minutes to get back there. So yes, we're at 91, so yeah, about 40% to come out here. Yep, well, we're ready to go, so I'm gonna unplug and we'll get back towards our resort. Back at the resort, and I need to do something here with the Starlink. I'm not sure what, but it reflects on the window, which is not too bad while driving, but it sure messes up the view with the camera. Kind of sucks. And it messes the view up, period. So I gotta come up with an idea what to do with that. But yeah, we're back at the resort here in the trees, and we got a nice spot. And see what that is out there. That's an outlet. Actually, every parking spot in this resort has an outlet. It's like they thought about EVs, and everyone can plug in their EV, right? Isn't that what that's for? I guess not. It is to plug in cars, but it is to plug in internal combustion engine cars. Yes, isn't that amazing? I mean, we have EVs, we know we need to plug it in, and that's the only energy source we need. But gas cars and diesel trucks also need electricity in the wintertime, up here at least, and even down in Montana where we're at, there's a lot of these outlets that you find in hotels, in the parking lots and other places, because, well, you got to keep the engine warm overnight so you can start it in the morning. That's the reason. If it's cold, an engine does not start. Never had a starting problem with an electric vehicle though. So yeah, so there are outlets here. I have never plugged in. I didn't ask if I could plug in here. I guess that would be an option, but I seen they had 15 amp breaker, so it's a regular 15 amp outlet. That would add a couple miles an hour or so, so I maybe would get 20 miles, and it's like, yeah, it is something, but not much. So at least for this truck, it's not much. If you have a Model 3 that's a bit more efficient, you can maybe get 4 miles or so an hour, then you could at least get 40 miles. But yeah, so I don't know if we could plug in. I didn't ask here in this particular resort. I asked like in Las Vegas, I did. They said, yeah, you can plug in, but then it tripped the breaker because there was an other electric car that plugged in and we were both on the same circuit, so it tripped the breaker. Anyway, we made it back to Canmore from Golden, and well, 50%, and I think that's kind of what it said we would have here. And so since the charge, we had 172 kilometers at 271.2 watt-hours per kilometer. And now yes, let's just change that over. Where is it? Display, that's what we need. Here we go. Miles. All right, so it was only 107 miles, and now we're up there at 436.5 watt-hours per mile again. On the current drive, that was the last bit. We actually stopped in Lake Louise Village to get some ice cream. And so you can see from Lake Louise Village to here, it's only 361 watt-hours per mile. So, but going over the pass and coming over this way, it was taking a little bit more than here on the last bit. One of the reasons probably for the last bit here was, again, the speeds were relatively slow. There was a lot of traffic, so overall we were not going very fast, you know. I mean, 55 to 65 miles an hour maybe, which yeah, that is when you get EPA rated range. With this weather that we're having, it says it's 64, it's sunny outside, the truck's been driven, so it stays kind of warm-ish even overnight a bit basically. It's just not cold like in the winter time or anything. It's warmish, it's nice, it's perfect. It doesn't really need much for cabin heat or cool. Well, this morning we had to heat a little bit, and then later we had to use the AC, but overall it doesn't take very much to keep it at comfortable temperature. With 64 outside, it's slightly cloudy up here. I mean, oh, it's beautiful, these clouds up here, look at this. Yeah, it's just beautiful. So yeah, we can be very efficient like that, and that works great. And this truck has a huge amount of range like that. It's just huge. Let's go see here. Where's trips? Let's see here. We drove so far a total distance of 754 miles. Used 316 kilowatt hours. Not quite three times the battery yet, huh? And we average 419 watt hours per mile. And again, this is way lower than our total average of 18,718 miles that we have on the truck. Our total average is 533, and that is because we tow a lot with this truck. This truck usually gets used when we tow or haul stuff in the bed, not really when we go on vacation. Well, we only go on vacation once in a while, so like once a year. So yeah, it's mostly working, this truck usually, and especially in the winter time, obviously consumption goes up. And on this trip, it's nice, perfect temperatures, no trailer, nothing, so we're doing really good. All right, we are, well, at 50% here. The truck's gonna sit till the morning, and tomorrow we plan on going to Calgary that is not far from here. 106 kilometers, I think it said, just before we came off the highway. So basically, what, 60 some miles? Not far at all. We probably don't need to charge. There's a charger halfway, something, I think. I don't know. We'll see. I probably won't be charging in the morning. Actually, I could look at that real quick rather than just talk about all this stuff. Navigate here. Calgary, huh? Calgary, Canada. Let's see what it says. It's calculating. And well, there we go. It says whoops, now it just flipped it around. Let's bring this back here. We could get to Calgary with 26%. We could even do the round trip, come back with 1%. It says an hour and 8 minutes. It's really not far. 63 miles, all right? Not far at all, but again, low speed limits. I mean, 63 miles in Montana, that would be like 45 minutes. That's funny. It's maybe not 45, maybe a little more, but I don't know. We got an 80-mile-an-hour speed limit, while here it's mostly 90 kilometers an hour, so that is way less. We're between 55 and 60, going between 55 and 65 miles an hour here all the time, which makes it really efficient, but it takes more time to get there. But hey, so like I said, we probably don't charge in the morning, we just get going. Right now it says 26% arrival. When I redo this in the morning, it will do less because the truck will be cold, and then I need to use the heat of well, the heat in the truck. We're not plugged in, so it uses the electricity from the battery to heat the truck up, so that will use quite a bit. So we'll get there with less than that. But like I said, I believe there is in Cochrane, I think there is a charger that is about 2/3 of the way or something. I think there's one, so we might just stop in there and charge there. Not sure, we'll find that out in the morning. So, but that's it for today. Been driving enough at 6 p.m. We'll probably go in and make some dinner and relax and get ready for tomorrow, going to Calgary. See you tomorrow. Good morning. It is about 8:30-ish in the morning, so not extra early. Feels a little dark, even the lights here in the parking are still on. It's a bit cloudy today and it might rain, so, but still, when you come out of the building here and you just get to see these huge majestic mountains here and everywhere over there, it's just amazing. And then driving around, you get to see all these glacial streams, this the kind of bluish greenish water. It's just amazing. So I mean, I can only recommend you come visit up here in Banff National Park and the surrounding parks here. It's all kind of clustered together right here, so it's really cool. For us today, we're going to Calgary, about I think it's 106 kilometers, the sign said down there on the highway. And we're driving again the highway number 1, the Trans-Canada Highway. And well, here is our truck. So it's been sitting here all night. It's a little chilly out this morning. Not cold, just a little chilly here. Let's see. Actually, this shows 56 degrees already. It feels a little bit colder. But yeah, 8:33. And we are down to 45%. We parked it here with 50 last night. And why is it down to 45%? Well, Sentry mode was on. Sentry mode uses quite a bit of energy, so that is normal. You can turn Sentry mode off if you wanted to. Then you barely use anything. We have the truck sitting at home, not plugged in frequently, and if things are turned off, like your cabin overheat and all this stuff that you really don't need, especially if it's just sitting at home, then it doesn't use much. But obviously sitting here, and I mean, there's a bunch of cars here that came in after us and left before us, so it triggers Sentry mode frequently. Let's see here, we're set to 71. It says warming up. The seat heater is going, so let's crank that down to 68. We don't really need that much heat. And then let's go over here to navigate and see here. That's where we were yesterday. That is what, down in, no, that's in Banff. Supercharger, that's where we're staying. That's where we had dinner last night. Rocky Mountain flatbread here in Canmore. That was pretty good there. Oh yeah, here, that is the shopping mall in Calgary. And so obviously my wife and especially my daughter are really interested in going there. That's a huge shopping mall with 225 stores or something. And let's bring this back down here. I wanted to see the info. Now the info is gone. Oh heck, can't get all the info back. It's a destination may be closed when we get there, which is possible. I don't know what time they open, maybe 10. And we get there 9:43, so well, it says from here 107 kilometers. We should get there with 20%, an hour and 8 minutes. And this is the route right here, which is that green thing there. That is Highway 1, Trans-Canada. Or we could go up that way. That would be an hour 27 minutes. That is longer. That may be more sightseeing, I don't know. We can still change that at some point, I believe, up here. So on the upper route, oh, and now it covers that right up right there in Cochrane. I think there is a Tesla charger. Let's see, where is this? Oh, maybe not. I thought there is one up there. Oh no, it's over here, so it's right there. Where is this? Can we blow this up here? It's here. What is that? That's not even a town there or what? So that is not too far away right there from, we're just here, and right there, maybe a third into the drive, we have a charger. So we could add some right there. Just go see that charger, then we know what it is. Add some charge so we get to Calgary with a bit more than 20%. So because at 20% we no longer have Sentry mode available, so we might stop there and fill up a little since we're only at 45, but by the time we get there we're lower, so we could charge pretty quick for 5 or 10 minutes there. Alrighty, well, it's time to get going. My passengers are here, so we just need to load up and go. We arrived at that supercharger that I pointed out on the map, so we're just very little into the trip. It was only about, what is it now, 8:58, so about 25-minute drive to get here. We are still at 38%, and this here is a version 4 supercharger. So now we're gonna go plug in and get some juice so we're not too low in Calgary. And as soon as I plugged in, it tells me I have enough to continue the trip. It would be an hour 15 to the charge limit, which is set to 100%. We just want to get some extra so that we have more than 20% in Calgary. I don't want to go charge in Calgary right away. We maybe cruise around a little bit, go to that mall, and we want to have enough for at least Sentry mode to work. I don't know that we need cabin overheat today. It doesn't look like it's gonna overheat much today. And yeah, so we got a version 4 supercharger here, which basically should allow the Cybertruck to charge at 325 kilowatts, but I don't think that's the case because we just added this stop here at the supercharger about 4 miles out. So it was not preconditioning until we added this stop to the navigation, which that's fine. We don't need a super fast charge anyway. We just need to add a little bit so we have some extra once we get to Calgary. And again, V4 superchargers, they do have, if you can see that here, there we go, they have the magic dock built in. So this is a CCS adapter up in there. They also have a much longer cord, so I can actually park correctly between the lines with the Cybertruck, and the cord easily reaches over here. And so with this version 4, anyone that charges here with another brand can easily park correctly in the spot and reach their charge port. They may have to pull in forward depending on what the vehicle is. Also, interestingly, well, FSD, full self-driving, wanted to pull into the gas station there. That was kind of funny. It was pulling in the middle there between a couple pumps almost. And I don't know if you can see that, but way over there somewhere there are some other chargers, some CCS. So this is kind of a charging hub here, I guess. There's also a casino back here. But other than that, it's pretty much just kind of like a truck stop or rest area here. So yeah, we'll get a little more. I don't know if maybe we go in and get us coffee or something, or if we're about to leave again here in a couple minutes. I came over here to these other chargers. These are, I guess, called On The Run. I seen those last year when we were in Canada. They're relatively big, but that is a charger and dispenser all in one. Looks like it has 2 CCS, but there's the big problem. EV charging closed. That doesn't do us any good, so it's showing red here on the side. Same thing with this one. Yeah, that just doesn't help. This one has a CHAdeMO, but again closed, so can't be used. So everyone has to go over to the Tesla Supercharger, which luckily Tesla offers that and even has a magic dock in there. Now over here, what is cool, they got vacuums right here. So you could actually vacuum your car while charging, but unfortunately that is not available right now. So that's kind of interesting that both of them are down. Neither one works here. So, well, good thing we have Tesla. And I just noticed there's another one back here behind this tractor. I didn't look on PlugShare much, so I mean, we're on vacation, right? So it's not like I'm chasing down every charger. But there's another one here, a Flow. And let's see, there's a little guy here. I think that's a level 2, but this looks like a DC fast charger here with a CHAdeMO and a CCS. And this says 50 cents per minute, scan member card, separate parking fee and restriction may apply. Holy crap. I don't know that they charge a parking fee around here. Not sure, at least for Tesla they don't. But yeah, so we got this ATCO fast charging station here. And there are the instructions. And there's the Flow app, and the ChargePoint app is shown on here. So you can either use the Flow app if you have it, which you might not coming from the US, but from the US you could have the ChargePoint app. That is pretty common in the US. So seems like this one works. Looks a little older. Nobody here, and then here this would be, I would assume, a level 2. And that is 5 cents per minute, it says here. So that is much cheaper, but also much slower. Yeah, funny that this other one over here doesn't work. And they parked the tractor right here in the middle. They still got the snowblower on it, or already have the snowblower on it. It'll be coming soon again. Yeah, but an interesting stop here. Yeah, it has these chargers, those chargers that don't work. But we definitely have the Tesla Supercharger that, as always, works. And we're back, and we got a neighbor over there, a Rivian charging, which they can charge here with the magic dock. It looked like he added his own adapter though. I'm not sure, maybe he don't know that he doesn't really need it. And we are up to 53%. We're going at 116 kilowatts. It actually came creeping up slowly. And yeah, we're definitely ready to go. Now it says 33%. That would at least allow us to leave Sentry mode on while we are right there in Calgary. But yeah, we're basically ready to go. Yeah, and the Rivian is towing a trailer there, so you definitely can tow with an EV on vacation. All right, we're up to 68%. Charged a little longer than expected. Did some stuff on the phone real quick, emails and things. And a thing I just noticed, it popped up here but it went away real quick, is that we charged here. It was like a kind of statement or receipt, and it showed how much we charged and how much it cost, but it went away. I don't know, and it's not here on any of these 3. It went down, but I've never seen that before, so that's something new that I don't know. Interesting. we didn't have an update since we started or anything, so I'm not sure, and I didn't notice it before. But maybe I just missed it before because it hasn't been here very long, only maybe 10-20 seconds max. So, but yeah, now we are off, and now we'll be in Calgary with 48% in 50 minutes, only 79 kilometers to go. And we'll have plenty to use Sentry mode there or cruise around town a little bit. Also, this supercharger here is 57 cents per kilowatt hour, while Calgary is, there's two of them at 60 and one at 61 cents. So it definitely makes sense to charge here a little longer because it's a little cheaper. Well, off we go. We have arrived at the shopping center, the Chinook Center. Got here with 46%, so almost as estimated, and had some rain here, and it's raining right now. It's all wet around here, but made it no problem. And because we charged, we got extra here, so we can use Sentry mode now. And we are outside, not in the parking structure, because it's pretty close, and with us having a light bar up here, we may not fit in there, even though we can see the height here as 1.74 meter. It's at 1.88, which is not much more, and the light bar may be just too high. So let's look at what we used here. Consumption. Oh, we need to switch that real quick here. Display. There we go. So we drove 55.8 miles since we charged, and an average of 440.6. So that is about normal and average for this truck here. So yeah, nothing special here, but yeah, we're here, so now we're going shopping. And before we knew it, it's 7:46 p.m. the day is over. We've been through the shopping mall, been at Costco here because they have different products than in the United States. Went to IKEA because the closest IKEA to us in the US is 500 miles away, so these are always places to visit. And we had lunch at a place called Cheesecake Cafe. Yes, not Cheesecake Factory, Cheesecake Cafe, which was a really neat place and had really good food. So, well, now it's time to go home, or well, back to the resort. And well, it's still 76 degrees out. We are at 41%, and it tells us we could actually make it home and still have 11% left. But now again, 11% is basically too low for Sentry mode to work, and then overnight we would lose a few percent because of the cold, and then we would have to charge in the morning, and that would go really slow because everything is cold. So we either charge here in Calgary, or we go back to the charger that we were at on the way here. We haven't made our mind up yet, so at this point I need to look and see how close even the closest supercharger is to us right now. And here we got the map, and really none of them are like close. So definitely that one down there is way out, since we need to go up. So this would be the better option to go up here if anything. What is this? This is about 6.4 kilometers away. And it is, oh, there is this weird thing there, I think, right there. That's inside a parking lot. That's paid parking, I believe. Let's see here. Yep, sure enough, it says they're paid to park, first 30 minutes free. So I guess we could do just a few minutes, 25 or so, and then pull out. That would be plenty anyway. Yeah, but maybe we just start our trek back and head back to this one right there. That's the one we were at before, and that one is even a little bit cheaper, so maybe we'll just go there, I think. So, well, let's go there. Here the stats real quick. So far we have driven 840 miles on this trip, and we average 421.5 for the total of the trip. Since last charge we had 440 watt hours per mile, so we're overall not too bad here. The average for the trip is relatively low compared to since last charge, so we'll see how we do on the way home. We're back in Kananaskis at the Supercharger, and I added that destination about 9 miles out, and it immediately started preconditioning for supercharging. So we should get a decent speed here, up to 325 anyway, but I don't know, we're at 15% still. There we go. So that should be kicking in here. I heard the click, and there it's blinking, and off we go. And let's see how much we can get. So it says 1 minute remaining to continue trip, which is actually kind of weird because basically we could have made this without stopping here. When I added the destination, it still showed a 9% arrival in Canmore, so we could have made it there. Now charging here is cheaper than in Calgary. Calgary was I believe 50 what was it, or 60 cents and 61 cents, and Canmore is 58 cents on the cheaper charger, I believe. So in here it's only 57 cents per kilowatt hour, so that's actually a good place to charge price wise, and we're doing pretty decent here. And now it tells me I got enough to continue trip, which I have before anyway. So let's see, 260 kilowatts. So we're definitely 260. We are above a version 3. Usually version 3 goes to about 255, 257 max. So we're right around there. But now we're dropping already. That's too bad. But we're adding pretty quick here. So we'll let that go for a few minutes, so that we have enough in the morning and don't need to charge in the morning. And as you can see up here, the green arrow, it is downloading a software update from our Starlink. Starlink is on, and as you can see here, it's connected to Wi-Fi and is downloading a software update if we need it or not. Time flies when you're having fun. And it's already getting dark out here. And well, I just have to say, these Tesla Superchargers look cool in the dark. And it says red Tesla on there, and red is usually bad, but here this means good. Unlike over there on the other side of the building, those chargers have red lights on them. It's bad over there. They're out of service, so that kind of sucks. Now, right here at the Tesla Supercharger is a good sign. And since we're talking about lights, look at this here. That is pretty cool. These are illuminated door sills. You can have those with the Cybertruck logo on it, the Tesla logo on it, and other logos. And I chose black. This one, blue. This is a running light, but you can set them different, like here on the back door, because it's a set of 4. And look at this here. This is a solid blue Cybertruck door sill, illuminated. So you can get those from EV Base. There's a link down below in the description. There's also a discount code. And EV Base has a whole bunch of other accessories for Teslas too, as well as for Rivians, like the running boards on our Cybertruck, as well as the running boards on our Rivian, come from EV Base. So go check that out. Again, there's a discount code down below, so you can get the best price on any accessory that you buy from EV Base. And now look at this here. It's a bit dark, but here, can you see this bar, this brush guard here? Yep, guess what? Yes, came from EV Base too. So they have a ton of cool accessories, so go check them out. Again, there's links, multiple links to the products, as well as a link to their website and a discount code there, so you can get the best price on it. And we are almost at 70%, I think, right now already. Oh yep, it just switched to 70. So let's unplug right now, then we'll look where we're at. But yeah, we didn't wait for the truck to charge. We went into the bathroom, bought a drink, ate some leftover food here in the truck, ate some snacks, you know, and it was really not waiting for the truck, so it's not a problem. It was good for me to walk around a little bit again, because it's been a long day driving and running around town, so just getting out, stretching the legs here. And it's nice weather, it's perfect temperature. It's probably about
65-70 degrees, so it's wonderful. And yeah, well, let's unplug and see where we're at, and with how much we should get back to Canmore. All right, so we are at 71% here, and this charge was $39.37. And like I said, this here is cheaper at 57 cents per kilowatt hour than we could have charged in Calgary. It's 60 and 61, or Canmore is 58. So this is the cheapest option to charge here. And let's see. All right, and we should get back to the resort with 63%. So it says it shows now 71, so about 7 or 8% is all we should use to get back to the resort, which is another 30 kilometers. So, well, let's go. We are back, and well, yeah, it's dark out now. 9:41 p.m. It's 59 degrees out, feels super comfortable. 62% still, so we did just fine, and we got plenty of charge for tomorrow. We don't really know what we're doing tomorrow, but probably we're just going to the hot springs in Banff, which getting there and back doesn't use much at all. And yeah, oh, look that there, 267 will be a beautiful number, but it says kilometers. So, oops, we need to switch this here. Display, where is it? Miles, there we go. Up, now we need to bring this back up with trips. There we go. All right, 429.7 watt hours per mile. Not too terrible for this big old truck here. Since last charge, it was pretty high, 506.5 watt hours per mile. So, well, this is it for today, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. All right, it's not the next day, but it's the next day. So it's been 2 days already since we came back from Calgary, and we drove twice to Banff and back, and we just got back from Banff here, and we are at 17%, and it was time to charge here, so we came back to this Supercharger here in Canmore. It is a pretty tight parking lot. There are chargers on both sides here, and there are some that are kind of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa over there. There's the one that's leaning pretty bad, so for some reason there's Camry parked in here, who knows why. But anyway, we're charging here, and just a quarter mile down the road from here yesterday we seen there is another Supercharger, a version 4, brand new. It's not on the Tesla map, okay? So we stopped in real quick to see if it actually works or not. Unfortunately, it doesn't. The charges are no longer covered or anything. There's nothing there that indicates that it doesn't work, except that the Tesla, like here, that is usually lit up in red, and it's not on these other chargers. So yeah, but now we know there is actually 3 Superchargers here in town, a version 2, and this here's the version 3, and then there's a version 4 just down the road from here that is not turned on at this point. But so we came here, we did precondition a little bit, but not much, so I don't even know if it charges pretty fast here. We're only going at 213 kilowatts, so not very fast. Yeah, we only had a few miles of preconditioning. The truck was sitting all day. It's about 70 degrees today. But I mean, it's beautiful back there, all these mountains everywhere you look. I mean, this is just freaking amazing here in Banff. So yeah, so at this point, yeah, we got a charge here. We probably have another day in Banff tomorrow, so not much interesting stuff in regards to EVs. We'll drive in, park, use public transport, which is, by the way, electric. They have 10 fully electric buses as well as some hybrids. We rode on a hybrid which mostly runs on the diesel engine. I only noticed that it is a hybrid because at one bus stop it actually did shut down, and it was not like a long stop, so it shut down and he started going without the engine coming on. But then as the driver accelerated a bit more, obviously the engine came on. So that's how I noticed it was a hybrid. And then on the way back, we actually had a fully electric bus, and I noticed that immediately because it was totally quiet. We were sitting in the back, totally quiet. Well, not totally quiet. You can hear the drivetrain, you can hear those axles. Those big axles on those buses have a tendency to whine, and that's what it did. But as we're walking through town today, we passed a couple diesel buses, and then there were 2 electric buses, and both of them were totally quiet. It was so wonderful. So thumbs up to Banff for doing that, because I mean, we want to preserve what we're here for, to see. It's all this nature, this beautiful, these mountains, these animals. It's just amazing. So yeah, the more electric the better, because we're definitely more efficient and better for the environment. Well, we'll charge up here to something, and we'll drive tomorrow again, and then in a couple days or so, I don't even remember what is today, Sunday. So yeah, tomorrow we got the last day here, and then Tuesday we gotta drive back home. So I'll probably see you on Tuesday. Well, and before we know it, there's already an hour gone, and I just barely showed you anything. But this video includes so many tips and tricks for traveling with the Cybertruck or a Tesla of any kind. Even with some other EVs, there's so much information in here. So I'm glad you made it all the way to the end. And don't forget, go down below in the description and check out our links to EV Base. We got a lot of cool accessories from EV Base on our Cybertruck, as well as on the Rivian. Like the running boards are a must-have for a Rivian. So yeah, go check that out. It's down below in the description. Also make sure to give us a thumbs up for this video, as well as for any other of our videos that you watch. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next video that we got coming. Obviously here we still have to drive back home from Banff, so there will be another video about driving back home. Well, I'll see you next time in any event. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.